So man, Deontay Wilder, he's a man of few words, kind of like Terrence Bud Crawford. You really don't hear much from Deontay Wilder in between fights. It's like he goes into his mansion and his vibe out there in Alabama. He goes fishing, he chills with the family, and that's all he does, man, and stays out of the limelight. But he did speak, bro, on his fiance Telly Swift's podcast on stating, and he did state that he is not done with the sport of boxing. Contrary to what a lot of people are saying, that he's going to retire, he's done, Tyson Fury finished him, he wants no more part of boxing. Deontay Wilder is now saying that he's not done with the sport. He's made the money. He's set with a lot of different business ventures. But he says that he has more that he can prove in the sport of boxing. With that being said, Q, who would you like to see Deontay Wilder come back and fight? If he's not really going to hang it up after the trilogy with Tyson Fury, who is a smart pick for him to get in the ring with and go at it and continue his boxing career against?
Man, I'm gonna say first of all, what I'm saying, shout out to his wife, the beautiful Taylor Swift, and that was a good interview. And I was very happy to see him speaking. You know what I'm saying? That was dope to use your own platform, keeping it right. House. But personally, man, and word to J Box, man. J Box said this in a group text when we all was talking about Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Joseph Parker, and word to Joseph Parker, don't want that smoke. But me personally, I would like to see Wilder, because he's fought all types of. He's been the consistent guy that will fight the most dangerous. You know what I'm saying? The Luis Ortiz. He's been out there. Taking on these tough
Luis
fights.
Ortiz twice.
And like the guy
Tyson Fury 3 times.
Tyson Fury 3 times. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, man, I just feel like I want to see him take a soft touch. And no disrespect to Joseph Parker, but I just feel like Joseph Parker is not a home run hitter. He's not a knockout threat. I feel like he has good skills. I want to see Wilder get some rings in with a good boxer to work on his boxing skills. And I just feel like, Joseph Parker being from across the pond, I think that he has an audience, and I just feel like that would be a decent scrap for him. You know what I'm saying? That would be the one that that'll probably be my first pick.
Your first pick? All right, Joseph Parker, man. Hey, man, so my first pick, if I had to pick somebody for the Bronze Bomber to return against after the Fury trilogy, I'm going to actually go with Andy Ruiz. Okay. I would like to see him fight Andy Ruiz. And the reason why I say that is because while Andy Ruiz has some decent boxing skill, I think that Andy Ruiz is a fighter that naturally Deontay Wilder is going to have the height and reach advantage against, which it would allow him to kind of work on some boxing skill. He would have the opportunity to kind of work on sticking that jab and trying to see if he could land that right hand against Andy Ruiz, while Andy would try to, being a shorter fighter, try to swim his way in. But that would be, in my opinion, a soft touch of being able to kind of work on some boxing skills. Because I think when it's all said and done, I feel like if you can stand up to some of those punches by Tyson Fury, and you can stand up to some of those punches by Luis King Kong Ortiz, I feel like Andy Ruiz is not going to get Deontay Wilder out of there, especially not a fighter with the heart of Deontay Wilder.
Right.
Because he's a fighter that it's going to take one or two punches to get him even stunned. And even at that, he's probably going to get up. You got to damn near kill him. You have to damn near kill this dude to get him out of the ring. And so from what I've seen from Andy Ruiz, I feel like he's a fighter that would be the perfect fight for a Deontay Wilder, a shorter fighter who's going to probably have trouble touching you because he's so short, and it would allow him to try to line up that
Ruiz
right
is
hand,
quick as
stick
shit,
that jab out there. Oh, yeah, he's quick.
He's very deceptively. He's quick and crafty, you know what I'm saying? My thing is,
I will say this. Go ahead. I will say this.
Good power once you get in there. No,
right. Now I will say this. Andy Ruiz definitely is quick and crafty when he gets in there. But I think if Deontay Wilder, right? Because what I want to see, and this is just me as a boxing fan, the way Deontay Wilder fought, and I know you remember this too, Q, that first round of Wilder Fury 3, bro, that was the most
Continuation.
that was
No
that
doubt.
was the most excellent Wilder we have ever seen. We actually saw Wilder sticking a jab to the body, right? And so I think Wilder actually has a lot of things he can go back to from that Fury fight to build upon. And so now, if you could do that for 1 or 2 rounds against a Tyson Fury, all right, Wilder, let's see if you can now take that same game plan that you had with Malik Scott. Now, with somebody like an Andy Ruiz, you better be able to do that for more than 1 or 2 rounds. Because Andy Ruiz is by far not the threat or the puncher, or nor does he have the size of a Tyson Fury that should push you out of your game plan that quick. I don't think it should push him out of his game plan as quick as Tyson Fury did. So I just want to see him see if he can build on those things that he did in the Fury fight against Andy Ruiz, because that's still a top name. That's still a top name that they could easily make a fight. Because again, speaking of PBC,
Listen,
I believe Andy Ruiz is connected to the PBC crew. So that's somebody right there in that stable that they could easily make an Andy Ruiz fight that I don't feel would be the most difficult fight for a Wilder if he wants to come back and fight. And last thing I'll say too, the other reason why I say Andy Ruiz is because he's not an elite heavyweight, but if Wilder beats Andy Ruiz, you still garner a bit of respect. Because I know a lot of people remember how Andy Ruiz clipped AJ and stunned AJ with an upset and actually took the heavyweight titles from AJ. So you go get a common opponent in Andy Ruiz, and if you do your thing against Andy Ruiz, yeah, it's not Tyson Fury, but that's another name that people really respect in boxing. That if you get him out of there or you beat him, it's a very respectable heavyweight for him to knock off.
right. Well, what I will say now, I don't think I disagree with you on the. And that's a good opponent. I do. I definitely agree
Uh
with.
huh.
That is a good opponent. I think Andrew Ruiz might have more power than Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury is more
Woo, you
about
think so, bro?
yes, one punch
You think
power. I
so?
think so because Fury is more. He's more volume in that weight and how he uses the weight against you with his boxing skills. And he's
Right,
throwing
right,
a
right.
bunch of punches. But I think Andrew Ruiz, him getting in there all shifty on a one punch tip on just a power one punch power. I'll say, and I think Andrew Ruiz might hit you with something that you don't see more than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is just the long, heavy, gonna lean on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he gonna do some things, man. And he gonna, and he's a great fighter on the inside. He just makes it up so well. But Fury, I mean Andrew Ruiz,
And,
man, that's what scared me.
and right, I feel you, but here's the other thing. Here, I gotta keep it 100. This Boxing Vibes TV, y'all, so we gonna keep it 100 too. We gonna keep
100.
it 100 on our opinion on this. And the other reason why I'm gonna keep it real, man, why Andy Ruiz for me is a pick, is because I'm gonna keep it real. He's shown that he's undisciplined. He's shown that he's undisciplined. And at the end of the day,
Right, that's
I
fact.
don't know that Andy
Which one gonna
Ruiz.
show up?
Right, exactly. There would be a lot of question marks because I feel you, bro. There is an Andy Ruiz that boxing fans have seen that are like, dang, he legit, man. He might crack you. But then there's an Andy Ruiz that people are like, bro, you look like all you did is eat and party for a
Eh,
year, and
Right.
you look like you just are not yourself. So I think that's also another factor for me that Andy Ruiz isn't the best athlete. He's not the most disciplined. So I feel like there's a lot of variables that Andy Ruiz may not take things as serious as he should.
Right. And now I think about it, they have a common opponent. You know who
Mm-hmm.
the common opponent? Chris Arreola. Shout
Right.
out to Chris, shout out to Chris Arreola. Met Chris Arreola one year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dope. But at the end of the day, and why the stop Arreola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
stop Arreola? And Arreola Didn't he? Did he drop Andy Ruiz? He dropped Andy Ruiz, if I'm not mistaken. It was a
Oh
good
yeah, yeah,
fight.
yeah. It was a good
Remember,
fight. It
I
was a good
remember that was
fight.
like a Cinco de Mayo,
Right.
the weekend before Cinco de Mayo. They went on pay per view. We was ranking them because like, why y'all put it on pay per view? Y'all tripping. These guys not at that level to be a pay per view fight. But when I tell you that fight lived up, it was the best pay per view fight. That was, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have no high expectation. We knew it was gonna be a good fight, but it actually lived up to be like, damn. I'm glad. Okay, that is worth paying for. But
Right.
that was an amazing fight.
And again, bro, I'm glad you brought up that fight because once again, what a lot of people thought was supposed to be a soft fight, a soft, easy fight for Andy Ruiz for a washed up over the hill Chris Arreola, left Arreola walking out of the ring like, bruh, Andy Ruiz ain't all that. Y'all thought I was washed up and he was gonna get me out of here, but
Right.
nah. Like y'all saw it just happen. So again with Ruiz, man, he tends to be undisciplined. You never know what you're gonna get from him, man. So that's why he's my pick for Wilder, man. But salute
Word.
to the Bronze Bomber for letting it be known that he's not done with the sport of boxing, that he still wants to keep fighting. And it's gonna be dope, man, to see him return to the ring. Again, Wilder, based off of his story, he's one of my favorite fighters. He walked into the gym,
Real
knew he
spill.
had to make a way for his daughter, never had boxed before, knew that football was not an option, and he made it happen to the tune of millions, man. So
I
salute to
still want to
Wilder
see him
for
and
his story.
AJ. Still want to see him and AJ.
You do?
Period. I don't care what
Okay.
happened with either one of them. They need to
You still want to see
lace
that
them
one?
up. That is a major, major fight. Pay per
I
view
agree.
will
Hey,
sell out.
I agree. I second that, man. I
Word up.
second that. I agree with you on that, bro. That I still think that AJ versus Wilder is an intriguing fight, even if neither of them can really get past Tyson Fury.
Right.
Yeah. But with that being
Bomb
said, man,
squad. I had to
yep,
say that.
you already know, man. So we look forward to seeing you back in the ring soon, Deontay
Word up.
Wilder, and we out.